What's up, guys? Alright, so I got a new camera, or actually it's a duplicate of my my current stream camera, which is a Panasonic Lumix G7. I bought a second copy of it along with a nice Rode mic that well, I mean, it's a budget Rode boom mic that attaches onto like a DSLR. So I think that should give me some better quality if I do more of these car videos. I've got it like suction cup mounted to my dashboard, so it's out of my field of view. It's not in the way, and I can basically chill and talk with you guys just like a chat with someone in the passenger seat. So I reached out to a whole bunch of you guys on Twitter, Discord, and on stream, asking you guys to give me some questions for an AMA. Wondering what you guys want to know, answer a bunch of questions that I get very commonly on stream or in private messages on Discord or whatever. So I figured this would be a cool way to get some more content out the door for you guys, something a little bit different in all of my wasted time that I have on my way to work. So here we are. Let me grab my little notebook. All right, so let's start with the first question that I get a lot, which is, how did I get started in content creation? I think it all started way back in the high school days when Call of Duty 4 was popping off on Xbox. There was a website, I'm trying to remember what it was called, but they were like based out of Arizona naturally, and what this website was a place for people to bet real money, basically put real money on the line for one-on-one 2v2 team games for games like Call of Duty. So at the time I was playing mostly like free-for-all, cage match, those types of things, because I hated team games on Call of Duty. They were just toxic. So I got pretty decent at it. Ended up making some decent money on this little website before they got shut down or closed by the IRS or ended up in jail or something. I have no idea what happened to them. But in order to basically prove that you won a game, because real money is involved, you needed to submit video footage. Well, I didn't even have like a cell phone at the time, so I ended up doing some research online and found out how to set up a capture card so that I could record my Xbox gameplay. So setting up my Xbox gameplay, recording through the capture card like 15 years ago or however long it was, I ended up with a whole bunch of footage. I ended up turning that into the stereotypical like early 2000s video game montages with like 360 no scopes and shit. Nobody watched the videos, but they were a lot of fun for me to make. I was using Windows Movie Maker at the time, so it was just my introduction into making videos. Fast forward into after college, maybe actually way after college now. It's been somewhere between 1.5 and 2 years ago was when I got into PUBG. Got pretty good at PUBG. Was around top 10 regularly at the time. Not anymore. I'm terrible at it now. But around top 10 in a first person on the leaderboard. So it was like me, Visions, Choco Taco, a bunch of those guys. We were all kind of vying for sort of like the top 5 slots amongst a few hackers with like 10,000 KDs or whatever. But yeah, so I started uploading highlights of all of that footage because I figured if I'm top 10 on the leaderboards, in North America, that, Shroud was getting huge on Twitch at the time. People were watching the doc play PUBG and stuff. I thought like, hey, I can compete with these guys. Let's put some of the footage up there. And yeah, nobody really watched it. You guys can actually scroll all the way down to the beginning of my YouTube videos and see most of those videos still have 10, 15, 20 views on them, even though right now I've got 40-something thousand subs. Nobody watched those videos. It mostly comes down to the YouTube algorithm. Not that the videos were amazing or anything, but there's just so much PUBG content out there, video game highlight content out there, and the algorithm favors stuff that's hot and trending, which it wasn't. So, long story short, I got frustrated with it, decided to stop. A few of my friends in real life, most of them are mods now. One of them, you guys might know, Grumble Cake. He convinced me, was one of the ones to convince me to start streaming, saying that I was decent enough at games and entertaining enough with, my banter and guitar playing and stuff that I thought I'd be pretty good at streaming. So after hemming and hawing for a few months, I decided to start streaming. I had my first stream on March 17th of 2018. So what was that, like 14 months ago? One of the questions I got was, what are my goals for streaming and content creation? I've got a couple of sets of goals. Some are, I have like time boxed and are quantitative, some are more qualitative. But what I'm looking to do, my own personal goals I have for the end of 2019, I'm shooting for 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, 100,000 followers on Twitch, and 1 million streams on Spotify. It's May right now. We're sitting around low 40,000s for Twitch and YouTube, and last I checked we were around 700,000 for Spotify. So whether or not I hit any, all, or none of those, that's what I'm shooting for. Whatever growth I get, whatever growth I've gotten, it all blows my mind, and I'm super thankful and appreciative for the love so far. So I'm not going to complain no matter what I get, but those are my goals for the year. Now, what I'm looking to do, and I don't really have a time box on these so much, but they're things that very much drive me and are things that I want to learn more about, include building some more relationships with some more companies. As you guys know, I was a part of the NVIDIA RTX Stream On competition. Working with the folks at NVIDIA was fantastic. Super cool folks over there in all the departments, from the marketing departments to the graphics departments. I mean, it was super cool working with them on that competition. It's been fantastic working with the folks over at Toby, the ones that make my eye tracker that you can see on stream and in a few of my videos. So I want to continue to kind of cultivate more relationships with companies and try to grow the brand Veritas just in general. I want to expand my merch. I want to extend out into other realms, more into music, more into helping other content creators, whether they're streamers or YouTubers, more into helping young software developers, young musicians learn how to play the guitar, compose music, produce music, mix and master music. I'm still learning all of the above. So what I really enjoy is being able to share all of that stuff with you guys as I'm learning it, and try to distill all of that stuff down into as entertaining, educational, succinct, significant, condensed as possible. Everybody's time is valuable, and I love teaching people, and I love hearing from you guys to know that you've gotten better at Tarkov, or you decided to pick up the guitar and learn music, or you decided to grab a webcam and start streaming. Like, that stuff is what keeps me going when I'm grumpy and Tarkov's treating me like shit, or I'm reading the comments on Reddit that all say that I'm like the shittiest human being ever because they saw me when I was a little bit grumpy and was yelling at a racist troll or something in chat, and they assume that I'm just an asshole. those are the things that keep me going, despite whatever hurdles, when I'm tired, cranky. I really appreciate that. So I want to do more of that. That's really what I'm hoping to achieve. One of the biggest things I would love to do related to both of those is, you guys know how much I love me some Madrina's coffee. I mean, I got a mini fridge in my stream room full of the shit. I don't know how much of that I've already sold now, but on the topic of cultivating relationships with companies, I don't want to just sell out and grab the first protein bar company that wants to send me some money for selling their stuff. As I said before, when I was in the sales world, I hated it because I didn't want to try to sell something that I didn't know was the best or that I didn't enjoy myself. And the fact of the matter is that I've had tons of coffee. I'm a wicked coffee geek, from pour-overs to Chemex to espresso, cold brew, and right now nothing beats Madrina's coffee, and I would love to continue to sell it. People are always asking me, what are you drinking? And I love it. I'd love to build a relationship with those guys, and try to get a sponsorship or something going, because I would love to promote them, and I would love to have my promotion of their products benefit me and benefit you guys. So we'll see what comes from it. I've got some stuff in the works, but that's basically kind of some short-term, near-term goals. All right, the next question is, when is the next Hot Guns coming out, or the next Contacts video, or the next Science video, or the next Lo-Fi song, or whatever? When's the next X coming out? Most of you guys know my crazy schedule. I don't really have that much time to do all of the things that I've got on my list. I mean, I've just got pages and pages and pages and pages and pages of shit on my to-do list that it's not stuff I feel like I have to do. It doesn't feel like work. It's all stuff I really want to do. And when it's something I really want to do, I'm going to try to put as much effort and thinking and planning into it as possible. I'm constantly framing out topics I'm going to be talking about, distilling them down into kind of major points, coming up with sort of a table of contents. A lot of times I'm scripting it out. A lot of times it's unscripted like this, because I don't want to waste anybody's time, and I don't want my videos to be full of fluff. I want them to be as content-packed as possible and information-packed as possible, or as unique and entertaining as possible, when it comes to animations or sound or music. And I just don't have that much time to do all of the things I want. I'm usually able, on a day like today, I got up at 7, got in the shower, I worked on a little bit of a song for an hour, and then I had to leave for work. I'm trying to take advantage of this time by doing kind of like a vlog for you guys. But then I've got 8 hours of work. I'm going to get home at 6 p.m. and it's all right, I've got 6 hours until it's midnight. I can't stream and script, record, and edit, and export and upload a video, or work on a song, produce, write, compose, mix, master a song. There's just not enough time to do all the things I want, and it sucks. Until I'm able to potentially go full time, which will be another 40 hours a week that I can really start to crank some stuff out. I mean, another 8 hours a day to be able to make content would be life-changing. But in the meantime, all of those things I'm planning on doing, soon TM, just trying to do it piece by piece without going insane and burning myself out, because I'm in this for the long run, and I really want to do this for you guys, and for myself and for my wife and everybody. So I really want to succeed at this. Try my best. I'll get everything done as soon as I can. Alright, so what programming languages do you know? So I've written in a professional on a professional stage, so to speak, I primarily write Objective-C and C++ and Swift. Although I have done, like I said, I've done some mean stack stuff. I've done some web dev, done some like MQTT robot simulation, cloud connection stuff. So I've written everything from PHP, JavaScript, Scala, Ruby, HTML, CSS, Java, Kotlin, but yeah, these days primarily, I would say maybe 80% of my code I write in C++, 18% of it's in Objective-C, and the rest of it's in just a smattering of other languages for other like tools, simulators, or applications that I'm writing to help me with my kind of day-to-day work. What is your favorite streaming moment? I would have to say my favorite, most memorable streaming moment was way back in the day. I would think I was only streaming for a couple of months. I had bought a brand new, which you guys see me play all the time, Paul Reed Smith, and by brand new I mean brand new to me. I think it's from like 2000. Paul Reed Smith Custom 24 Artist, like 25th edition, just by one of my dream guitars. I clumsily put it down on its stand in a rush during spawning into a customs raid. Put it down on its stand unevenly, and it then proceeded to fall over and shatter my glass IKEA desk to smithereens. Got that beard in here. Making a loud bang, taking a nice chunk of wood off the headstock, making a nice dent in that nice finish. But the reason why it's the most memorable was because, to me, it was the first time that I was able to step out of my comfort zone live. I had only really ever done some, guitar playing and some video game playing on stream. This was the first time I kind of had to improvise and sort of put on a show. I continued that whole customs raid with glass everywhere. My desk was all broken. My monitor was sideways. I tried to handle it as best as I could in a fun and entertaining way. And then after I was done with the raid, which I surprisingly survived, I then proceeded to take the next couple of hours to dismantle my desk, clean up all the glass, have a couple of glasses of whiskey, hang out with you guys, and cosplay as a USEC with a Fast MT on. But at the time, all I had ever done was stream video games, so being able to swap over to the just chatting section while I cleaned up the mess, put on a show outside of video games, and to see my viewer numbers at the time go up, and people were really having a blast, with me just playing music and hanging out, was super encouraging and really made me realize that there's more to what I want to do and what I can do than just video game highlights, It really gave me the idea that there's so many other dimensions to entertainment here on Twitch and on YouTube that I want to take advantage of. So that was one of my most memorable streaming moments. Alright, what job do you have? I am a software engineer at a consumer robotics company, responsible for designing, architecting, and building various features of mobile apps for the robotics company to talk to, to talk to robots, to be able to talk to the cloud and stuff like that. I do a ton with mobile UI UX analytics, different kinds of connectivity and networking. That's what I do. It's really interesting. It's really awesome. It's really fun. Every single person that I work with is 37 times smarter than me. We have an awesome team, and we're doing some cool shit. Yeah, so that's what I do. What's my opinion on the Vepr 136 and the ADAR? So I'm going to lump in the Vepr Hunter in here too. The Vepr Hunter, the 136, and the ADAR, in my opinion, are really the best value guns in the game. All you really need to do is like toss a grip and a red dot on, you know, any of them. Not even a grip, actually. Just toss a red dot, you know, and you've got, as long as you have decent ammo, you've got guns that are viable into the absolute late game. And the thing with those three, given that they're semi-auto, I find that I am very deliberate about where I'm placing my shots, and I take my time. I'm not just spraying and praying, you know, with an AKM or whatever, or an M4 dealing with their recoil now that's been increased. I find I'm much more likely to hit headshots, conserve ammo, and survive when I'm using those guns. So yeah, I think if you don't use them because you think that either the AK is better than the Vepr, or the M4 or the HK is better than the ADAR, think again. Give it a try if you don't believe me. I think you'll be impressed with how they perform. Mice weight. Yeah, I like a heavier mouse. I have the Logitech G703, which comes with like a weighted puck thing. I've got that in there. I tend to have lower sensitivity, not the lowest, but you know, my DPI is 800 and my sense in game for both settings is 0.44. But I like to have a heavier mouse and a lower sensitivity, so that, like I said, I can be more deliberate with my shots. Have a big mouse pad, so I'm able to flick and then do very minor adjustments, but without having to be super pixel perfect precise. I can be more deliberate when I'm doing minor adjustments. So yeah, I would absolutely recommend the G703. It's the best mouse I've ever owned. So, are you a reader? The last book I read that I like held in my hands physically was either like the first Harry Potter book, or might have been Catcher in the Rye in like elementary school. After that, I really haven't read anything, but I do listen to audiobooks because I spend a lot of time driving, and podcasts. The audiobooks that I've read most recently, or listened to most recently, I think the only fiction one would be Ready Player One. Fantastic audiobook read by Will Wheaton, I believe, who they mention in the book, which is kind of funny. But fantastic story. I would highly recommend it if you're into everything retro, video game, nostalgic, 80s, you know, whatever. It's really awesome. Way better than the movie. I know I'm going to be that guy. But the other audiobooks that I've listened to recently that I would recommend is basically everything ever done by Christopher Hitchens, Carl Sagan, Sam Harris, and Richard Feynman. Most recently, listened to Hitch 22, God is Not Great, Letters to a Young Contrarian, like 27 times. A Demon Haunted World, Science as a Candle in the Dark, A Pale Blue Dot are amazing. Sam Harris's Moral Landscape is a super interesting book. I learned a lot about that. And then I listen to podcasts and debates and all sorts of other stuff while I'm in the car and I'm not doing something like this. Let's see. I can probably bust out a few things here. Coke or Pepsi? I don't really drink much soda these days, but I would have to say, I'm going to cheat and say cherry or vanilla Coke. They're all okay, but if I'm going to choose, I'm going to try to get me some cherry Coke. How do you like your steak? I eat my steak medium rare pretty much everywhere I go, except if I'm down in Boston and I'm stopping in at Legal Seafoods. I'm not a huge seafood guy, but if I get the prime rib at Legal Seafoods in Boston, I will get that extra rare. It will just melt in your mouth. It's the best cut of meat I've ever had in my entire life. would highly recommend if you're into that sort of thing. Legal Seafoods in Boston, get the prime rib, get it rare or extra rare if you're a sick fuck like me. How did you do the guitar solo
One can't live without fear, especially what is your attitude towards
in Vindication?
I didn't pick this fight, but I'm in it.
I think what I'll do is I'll leave you
Give it my best
with
shot.
this for the end. But this is how.